one example that I wanted to focus on, because I know I've seen you share it on social media, I've heard you talk about it, but I think it's a helpful thing for people to crystallize in their mind, is this clause builder that the AAA has developed using generative technology. Can you describe what the clause builder is and what it does?
Yeah, absolutely. The Clause Builder AI tool, which went live a few weeks ago, we had it in beta for a while while we were fine tuning it, is a version of our legacy Clause Builder tool. We had a tool for people who wanted to put together an arbitration clause or a mediation clause, an alternative dispute resolution clause for a contract, using a traditional drop-down choice box methodology, because lots of people, like I said, not just individuals, but many businesses have non-lawyers trying to make sure their contracts are going to serve them in the future in case there's a dispute. And you need an ADR clause that the courts are going to uphold, right? So we had a tool that helped people with that, a legacy tool. And it occurred to us pretty early in this, in our exploration of where we could go with this generative AI technology, that we could use a library of perfected clauses, which we have because we review clauses all the time for businesses who want to make sure they comply with our due process protocols if they're going to want us to adjudicate their cases one day. And we also have all this other experience with clauses that are going to be upheld by courts. And we trained on that data using, again, the GPT LLM, and created a natural language interface. So somebody can now come to Clause Builder AI and they can say, I have an employment contract. I am looking for a clause that will have us go to mediation, or mediation followed by arbitration if the mediation doesn't, resolve the dispute. And it will then have a conversation back with you and ask you all the other kinds of things you might want to include. You might not, but it'll give you options to make sure that you're writing the clause, or you're writing the clause together with the tool that will meet exactly your needs in the event there's a dispute. We trained it on that data internally. We then had a lot of internal users practicing with it and trying to trick it, giving it harder questions. We then had a lot of external users. Anybody interested in our work, we're always looking for people to help us with fine-tuning these tools. And when we got comfortable enough that it was, again, it's probabilistic, not deterministic, but when we got comfortable enough with the answers it was giving, we put it up for the public to use. It's obviously not something it's not a revenue stream for us. It's a service like the legacy tool was. But to the extent we can give more people more tools to resolve disputes better, that's part of our mission. So it's a pretty exciting one. We had one other tool before that we started using a few months ago. We have an automated scheduling order after a preliminary hearing in an arbitration. We trained a tool on a bunch of scheduling orders that were used in previous cases, and now we use the Zoom transcript from a preliminary hearing. It has this library that it's trained on, and it produces a draft scheduling order. So the arbitrator spends a lot less time putting together the scheduling order, and the parties therefore pay less. I think the next one that we're working on is this filing chatbot, a natural language interface for people filing cases who might not understand the process yet. That's one that I'm pretty excited about, especially for users that don't have lawyers. And then the one after that, I think, is we have a long list of these. Is the panelist search tool. We're going to give both our case managers who are trying to put together lists of potential arbitrators for disputes or mediators, and then eventually users to be able to have a natural language interface with our data. So it's pretty exciting what you can build.
That's amazing. And it's a good full circle moment to our definitions at the beginning, because the way you're describing it, I think, with the clause builder was moving from deterministic with the drop-down menus to probabilistic using generative AI.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And, again,
So it can be done.
It can be done. You can fine tune it to a point where it doesn't have to give you the exact same words in the exact same order to be a good clause.